Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to Pennies Reading Nook. I'm here in Spencer, West Virginia at the Patch office. And oh, do I have a treat for you today. Oh, add building blocks with my class the second or third Wednesday of each month. The third Wednesday of each month is Class Book Wednesday, and we make a class book. And because in the month of February we celebrate President's Day, that got, you know me, that got my wheels turning, and that was the idea behind our class book. We have a class book about money today. Are you ready to hear it? I hope you are, because it is great. Okay, let's get started. The name of this book is called The Money Plan, Not Your Parents' Guide to Financial Investments. And this book was written and illustrated, it was told and illustrated by Xavier, Rees, Zayla, Waylon, Hunter Bailey, Reagan, Jameson, Hunter Hammonds, Gracie, and Aspen. And it was made on February 16th, 2022. I have $1.05, and I'm going to buy a new kitchen with cabinets and drawers. Xavier, man, wherever he's getting his kitchen cabinets and drawers for $1.05, I want to know where that store's at. I have $101.36, and I'm going to buy a real red fire truck for me to drive to the fire station. Rees. I have $206.41, and I'm going to buy pink and purple glasses for me and Zagan. Zayla. I have $55.26, and I'm going to buy a toy T-Rex for my sandbox and buy sand. Waylon. I have $302.81, and I'm going to buy a John Deere tractor, put it in the garage, and use it for snow. Hunter Bailey. I have $170.16, and I'm going to buy a pink play horse named Sally and a barn for her. Reagan. I have $13.90, and I'm going to buy a bluish, greenish dirt bike with a 1122 number on it. Jameson. I have $5.01, and I'm going to buy a big dump truck. Hunter Hammonds. I have $150.06, and I'm going to buy a rainbow poppet and a kitty toy for Rainy, Stormy, and River. Gracie. I have $10.05, and I'm going to buy a green buggy. Aspen. The end. Oh, wasn't that a great book, boys and girls? I love that book. It was so interesting on what the kids were going to buy with their money. Everybody was very original and put a lot of thought into it. And I just absolutely love this book. It was one of my favorite books. So, what I want you to do at your house is I want you to make a book, make a family book about the money plan, okay? And we'll go back. I'm going to go back and open up the book, and I will tell you and explain to you how we made our book in our class. And that might give you an idea on how you can make a family book. And like I said, get everybody in your house involved. Get mom and dad, your brothers, your sisters, your grandmas, your grandpas, your uncles, your aunts. Just make it a big family book. And then maybe this summer when you're having a family reunion or a family picnic, you can get your book out and let everybody read it. I know for a fact that they will absolutely love it. Okay? Now, let's go back to the book and let's talk about how we made the book, okay? For starters, because it was President's Day that week, we were talking about money and how you have to have money to buy things. And our moms and our dads have to work to get the money to buy these things. And sometimes you have to save your money because you have to pay bills, you have to make sure there's food on the table, you need some clothes, every once in a while you might get a toy. So there's a lot of things where our money has to go. So sometimes we have to save and we have to think about it. So we were talking about, after that, we talked about the pictures on the money for starters. Let me get back to that, okay? And then if you look here, let me get this yellow piece of paper and you can show up better. The coins we concentrated on in our game was the penny, the nickel, the dime, and the quarter. But at my house, I also had a 50-cent piece. And you bring them in, I brought them in, and we talked about the pictures on the fronts and the backs of the coins. And then we had some of the dollars to show the kids too as well that had the pictures of the presidents, but not all of the money, the paper money, the bills, have presidents on them. Like is it the $100 bill that has Benjamin? I've got my little cheat sheet over here. The $100 bill has a picture of Benjamin Franklin. And he wasn't one of our presidents, but he was a founding father. He kind of helped set up our America and our declarations of independence, and he signed that. So he was considered our founding fathers. And on the $10 bill, we have Alexander Hamilton, and he was also one of the founding fathers. Very important to our country and the way our country started. So we had all those things out. And now here we had our coins, and we found out that on the $50 or the 50-cent piece, we have John F. Kennedy. And he was the 35th president of the United States, and that coin is worth 50 cents. Then we have our quarter, who has George Washington, and he is our first president of the United States, and that quarter is worth 25 cents. Then we have our dime, and this was Franklin D. Roosevelt, and he was our 32nd president, and this dime is worth 10 cents. Then we have the nickel, and on that we have Thomas Jefferson, and he was our third president of the United States, and that nickel is worth 5 cents. And then here we have the penny. My name's Penny. Guess what my favorite coin is? Out of all of those, guess what my favorite coin is? You're right, the penny. Hello. Well, on the penny, we have Abraham Lincoln, and he was our 16th president of the United States, and that penny is worth 1 lonely cent. But he's a very important coin, okay? So, after we had this conversation about the money, the presidents on the coins, we talked about what a president will do and what a president is, and then we moved on to our book, okay? And for our book, we were going to use, I didn't want to use play money that you could find in a store. For one, I couldn't find any. They were all sold out. And for two, I thought, you know what? We need to have a little more work involved in our book besides just play money. So I bought some color coding labels. I bought ones that are in the shape of what? You know what that shape is? A rectangle. And that was the one to represent the dollar bills, the paper money. And then we also used the round ones, the circle ones, and we used those for the coins. You're right. And then I took, ahead of time, I took the labels and I put different dollar amounts on them at random. You will see 1, 5, 10, 20, 50, and 100. That's the bills that I used, okay? And then for the coins, I used the penny, which is 1 cent, the nickel, 5, the dime, 10, the quarter, 25. I didn't use a 50-cent piece. You don't see a lot of those around, so I didn't want to use those, okay? So once you have someone in your family, well, they need to make you some play money, okay? Got it? And then you need to get your paper out. Now we'll go back to our book. And the kids were instructed to draw a picture of themselves. They were making self-portraits of themselves, and they did that. Well, then we need to decide, okay, how much money are you going to get? Well, we need to have the dice. So I thought, you know what? You can take the dice, or one is a die, and you roll it. Whatever number you get, okay, what number did I get here? 1, 2, 3, 4. That number decided the number of bills and coins you were to get. So for this one, I would pick out 4 rectangles, 4 dollar amounts, and I didn't tell the kids what they were ahead of time, and you know, the difference between a $1 bill and a $100 bill. We didn't get that far in depth into that. We were having fun with this. So the kids would pick out 4 paper money, their dollar bills, and put on their paper. And then you also got the equal amount of coins. So then you would pick your coins out, and then they would put them on their paper. Well, after they did that, then we would add it up together. I would tell them they had $1.05 to spend. And then I would say, okay, Xavier, you have $1.05 to spend. What would you buy with your $1.05? And Xavier he immediately knew. He didn't even have to think about it. He knew, I'm buying a new kitchen with cabinets and drawers. So I'm thinking that I just love this book. And like Reese, he rolled, what was the number he rolled on his dice? You want to look at it and count with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he got to pick out 5 paper money, $5 amounts, and 5 coins. So again, very easy way to make the book. And like I said, your whole family can get involved in making this book, okay? Now, let's push the book to a side, but I hope you really make this book at home. I really, really do. It's lots and lots of fun. Now, I have a game that you can play with the coins, okay? So I had my collection of my coins. I had 50-cent piece, and I brought 2 of each. So I have 2 there. I have 2 quarters. I have 2 nickels, and I have 2 dimes, and I have 2 pennies. Now, one thing we want to talk about real quick is how the coins have changed, okay? The 50-cent piece, they've pretty much stayed the same, although the picture on the back is a little different. Now here for the quarters, the older quarters had like an eagle on the back of them, okay? And now they're making the newer quarters they have a collection of the 50 states. This particular quarter has got Arizona. And I believe there are also national parks. I don't know if there are state parks on their quarters or not, but that just shows you how the coins have changed over the years, okay? The nickel, the older nickel, used to have Thomas Jefferson looking like that. And now the newer nickels have a portrait of Thomas Jefferson like that. And the backs, they're still the same on the nickels. Okay, and the dimes, they have stayed the same. Got Franklin Roosevelt there, and they've stayed the same. They haven't changed. And then our pennies, the fronts are still the same. We still have the same portrait of Abraham Lincoln, but what would be considered the tails, or the opposite side, have changed. On the older ones, you have the Lincoln Memorial. And then on the other side of the new ones, they have like a shield. The kids, soon as some of the kids saw that, and they was like, oh, it's like Captain American shield. Woohoo! So again, that made me laugh. But that just shows you how the coins have changed over the years. Now, enough with that, right? Right. Let's get on with the game. So we are just going to play a simple coin toss game, okay? So you would make some type of a marker or something on your floor at your house, and you would get a predetermined distance away from your paper, and then you're just going to take your coins and you're going to toss them. Oh no, quarter down. I lost a quarter. Now, if it stays on the yellow paper, you get to keep that amount of money. If it rolls off, guess what? No money. All right, let's try again. And you'd have an assortment of coins. And then when you were done tossing your coins, oh man, that one went off. Let me see. Oh, lost my penny there. Well, after you had tossed all of your coins, then you go back and you see, how much money did you have? Okay, I had a quarter, there's 25 cents. My nickel was 5 cents, so 25 plus 5 is 30. And then my penny stayed on board, and that's 1 cent. So I had 25, 31. I had 31 cents. And this is a game you can play with your whole family. Get out your piggy bank, take out an assortment of coins, and see how many land on your target or your basket. Or you could use a hula hoop. You could take a piece of tape and tape off a square or something, and then have fun and to see who ends up with the most money at your house. Well, that's it for me and the money plan. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye, boys and girls. Mwah.